y'all. So I am live from Club Car. Y'all know this coronavirus situation is still going on, and so we still in quarantine. And so sometimes you just gotta sit outside and breathe in the outside air and just change up the scenery because looking at the walls can be very just not right. So I took a little step outside on today, and so here we are live from the car. I got a video for you today. And I just want to welcome. I feel like there's been a lot of people who joined this page over the last couple days, weeks, etc. I want to officially welcome you to the Act Like a Lady, Think Like God community. And I want to share a little bit of my testimony because I think sometimes we don't share it enough. And so I want you guys to understand kind of a little bit more backstory about the movement that you're following, right? And so a couple years ago, I think it was like 20, when did I graduate Morgan, y'all? 2014 ish. I got out of college, and I was like, y'all, it's time to live my life. It's about to be independent, Miss Independent. She got her own thing, Miss Independent. You know that song? So I was kind of on that, and I got my apartment, I got a job, and literally a couple months in, I think I had just been to my apartment almost literally probably like 3 months or so. Not even that. Um, I get into a relationship with the guy. I meet a guy. He's a police officer. We date, all the things, all the things. And now this thing's gonna ride past, and you're gonna hear this sound while I'm in the midst of my video. How disrespectful! Let me see if I can do something here. There you go. That's better. Ooh, ooh. And so we start dating, and it was a good time, all the things, we did all the things, okay? And I mean, not all the things, but the things you do when you're in a relationship, those type of things. And then come to find out a couple months later that he was actually in fact married, y'all. And that for me, that was a eye opener. Now, up until this point, I had like, situationships, talk to little boys or whatever. But for me, I think that was the first time that I tried to take someone really seriously. And so, it really hit me because I'm like, Lord, the very first time I opened myself up to be vulnerable to, ready for love, that type of situation, he has to be married. I'm like, Lord, why can't I find love? We couldn't find love in a hopeless place. Found love in a like, why couldn't I find love in a hopeless place? And and it really was an eye opener to me. Now, guys, I was raised in the church, daughter of pastor, all the things. Head of the ushers board, dance ministry, all of the things. So I think the Lord has always been with me, and I've always been sensitive to God. Some of us, we have the presence of God has kind of always been with us, but I think for me, I'm just trying to really I'm coming into a little bit more understanding of what the Lord has been doing. But in that moment, I really had to make a decision, and in that moment, I think it was the very first time that I sought God like never before, because the healing, the pain that I was feeling, y'all, it was crazy. The way my mind was warped, and like, cause I could see the proof, I could see the evidence, but still I didn't want to believe it. And that really, like, I didn't like my mind and my heart being in that type of space. Like, for me to have someone, like, I'm hearing the truth, I see the truth, and then because of the soul tie, because my mind, will, and emotions are so caught up and entangled with this person, I couldn't think for myself, I couldn't move on, because what, I was so wrapped up in it, and I just did not like that. And I also did not like the fact of, that I had given my body to someone, and now to come to find out, you don't know what that person was doing. You don't know. He was married, so I don't know. Maybe was he cheating on with other ladies? Like, I don't know at that point. And so I did not like the fact that I had my health, the status of my health was in somebody else's hands. I didn't like that feeling. I'm going to share another video, more specifically the next video, to talk about that, because that's a heavy issue that we need to talk about, that we don't talk about enough. But I was like, y'all, I was depressed, and so I decided to go back to God, to press into God. And as I started to do that, it's amazing to me because even in the relationship, I was going back and reading some of my journals. Like I said, I can't wait to start writing again and doing some different things. Even in the relationship, I could still feel it was some type of emptiness. I wasn't fully content. And so after that relationship, I decided to do a short film. So I used some of the gifts and the talents that God has given me as therapy, right? And so that's a big hit for some of you guys. You guys are going through some powerful things, and God has given you some amazing gifts and talents that you can find therapy in. And so I do a short film. I get moving on that literally a couple weeks after that relationship. Couple weeks after that, we start rolling into a book. I came across this amazing lady. You probably hear me talk about her quite often because I love just giving her honor and blessing her life because she's just been absolutely amazing. But Tiffany Montgomery, they had a course on how to write a book, and then as I started to follow her, she started to do classes. So it kind of was like a far mentorship type of situation, KEU University. And it's interesting because God will send people into your life. Now, like I said, God had already been. I was raised in the church. You know, I had the seed planted in me with my parents in my home. And so that was amazing because sometimes it takes certain situations in your life and then certain people, certain vessels. Like sometimes God may use me as a vessel to speak a message into your life when you need to hear it. And so she was used as a vessel in that season to really kind of mentor me from afar, to really re-represent Christ and to see it in a different way. And I remember just one of the sessions that she had, and I felt the presence of God. I felt something in my spirit. I started crying, y'all. I remember I was sitting in my at desk at my job, and it's crazy because after the relationship, I was literally on a tight schedule. Like I was on a regimen, and I think sometimes that's very important for some of you guys. I know you guys going through heartbreak and things like that, but the quicker you are able to get into some type of routine, I know take your day, take your weeks, or whatever you need to do to kind of like but you need to get yourself on some type of routine to keep your mind going. Like this exercise, wake up in the morning, exercise, go to work, exercise, and go to sleep, and that's all you can handle for the day, then that's all you can handle and commit to that routine. And so God had me going to work from 8 to like 5. I went to my second job from 6 to 12. My 6 to 12 job, God did a lot. Like he was shifting a lot of my perspective, doing a lot. I was getting a lot of word. I was getting a lot of training because I was a concierge. So 6 to 12, 12 a.m. I got off, went home, woke up, did it all over again. And during that course, I probably only had one day off, which was like a Saturday, and that kind of shifted. But I was on a regimen, and God had me in a position where he was able to incubate me and pour into me. But in one of those sessions, I was at work, and I remember feeling the presence of God like never before. I remember it. I just remember it. And God started to really move and shift some things in my heart. And as I continued that, I continued to pour. Y'all know when you get that little feeling, I was like, "Ooh, I like this." I mean, I had felt that feeling sporadically in church sometimes, but that one it was a little different. It was like a little shifty shift. I said, this is something here. And so I started to feed that. I said, okay, so I feel like this when I'm in worship. Okay, so let me get back into that place. Let me worship. Let me go more. Let me go deeper. Let me go deeper. Let me get more because it was my fix. I was like, oh, this feels good. So let me go deeper. Let me do more. Let me go more. And it literally became an obsession for me. But the great thing about becoming obsessed with Jesus, there's always fruit of becoming obsessed with Jesus. If you're going to take it, tweet it and give me the credit. There's always a benefit with being obsessed with Jesus. I started to go in, y'all, like all day, every day. I was going to the church services. I was playing worship music all the time, playing a message. And again, I had some type of structure. I joined some courses and the KEU, like I look forward to that. Like if I didn't look forward to nothing else, I was looking forward to that time every day. That time during the week, I knew it, and it kept me going. It kept me going, and that's why I really honor and bless her life so much. I can't wait to really fully share with her. I think I did before, but like I just feel like I need to share more. But it was such a blessing, and so February, up until that, I kept going, kept pursuing. February 14th, this is a long story, y'all, but bear with me. February 14th, 2016, it was Valentine's Day. I was at my job at work. The book, The Wait, had come out, and I had been reading that. No, that day, it was the same day. I think it was the very first day it was released because I had pre-ordered it, and I got it. And I was sitting in my cubicle at work. I would never forget, y'all. I made a commitment and decision right there in that moment. I said, I'm not going to have sex before marriage. And I was excited about it. And I said, I knew it had to be the Lord. because he had been dealing with my heart already, and I knew it had to be the Lord because I was excited. I was like, I felt this joy and this peace, and what I understand now, that was an area that God had always wanted me to lay down. It's like he had access. He had some access. He had a foothold in some areas of my heart, right? But that was an area that he was like, yes, if I give this area, I got Charlize. I got her heart. I know I got her. And so when I yielded, because you got to yield, you have to yield and make a decision for yourself. And when I yielded that area, it's like God rushed in. It was like the fire of God, the peace. It's like the Holy Spirit just kind of, it's like, whoosh, because we've been waiting. We've been waiting for her to lay down this area. We've been waiting for her to lay down this area so we could come in and really dwell in her like we want to. And I remember I was so peaceful. And then even God gave me a vision, and I was crying. He gave me a vision of what my wedding night would look like. And not to say that's the objective, but I thank God for giving me that glimpse, that vision. I'll never forget it. And I was sitting there crying. And I felt so at peace with it. And so that was February 14, 2016. And as I continue to pursue God, he starts to give me, ideas. Because some of you guys, God really wants to use, but he can't because your mind is so warped and so gone over toxic relationships. Like, you can't even focus. He's like, there's so many ideas and things I want to give you, but you can't even focus because this little boy got your mind. He got you wrapped around his little finger. And God says, I want you wrapped around my finger, because when you wrap around my finger, I could do some amazing things in your life. Circles of blessings, circles of things that can happen in your life. But you want to be wrapped around that little boy who's not doing nothing for you. And I don't want to minimize it, but sometimes y'all need to hear it. Some people need to hear it like that. Okay? We need to hear it like that. We need to hear the truth sometimes like that. And so God starts to reveal things to me. My mind is clear. I'm able to concentrate and focus and hear him clearly. And so one day he gave me act like a lady, think like God. I posted that because I started promoting my books and things that I was doing. I started giving encouraging posts. You got to post to promote. And so as I did that, he gave me the quote, act like a lady, think like God. And I said, wow, that's dope. That sounds like a t-shirt. I thought it was just a t-shirt. I did the Instagram. I created the t-shirt. And as you know, as you create, different things, I had to create more content. And as I started doing more videos, and God starts to have me doing little things step by step. I do videos, and he's talking about going live, and I start going live and being consistent with that. Every Sunday night we was going live, and we were building a community, and some ladies asked about doing events, and then literally within a couple months we had our first conference. We just had our second conference last year, men and women. And we see how God has literally birthed this thing, has grown this little baby up. And it started way before I even knew it. But, from my human understanding, this launch pad was really that relationship for me. The shift was really that relationship for me. And I just thank God. I thank God, because all the time you go through situations and you're in the midst of it, but you don't understand. You don't understand why, but it's all going to make sense. It's all going to make sense. It's all working for your good. It's all working for your good. It's all working for your growth. It is all working for your good. It's all working for your growth. And I just want to encourage you. I want to welcome again to those of you all who just joined this page and this community. I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful that you guys are here. And let me go, because I feel like I'm going to start really, really crying, because I don't really want to do that today, because I got some other videos I got to give. Okay? And I don't want to be here right now. I don't want to be here. Okay. But I love you guys so much, and so I just wanted to share that testimony with you guys. There's purpose in your pain. There's purpose in all. It's going to make sense. Continue to pursue God. Continue to be faithful over the little things, and watch what God is going to do. And this is not even the culmination of all the things he's going to do, because he's just so amazing, y'all. I just love you guys so much. I thank you guys for being here. Make sure you share this page with some more people. We just want to kind of spread the message and mission, and just kind of do what the Lord wants us to do. And so I love you guys so much. Yeah, I love y'all. Bye.